Now, there is an official time of peace that's going to come later, but you can't have too much peace. Is that all right? Well, good morning, everyone. How are you? So good to see all of you here today, especially those family and friends who have come long and far. One of my coworkers from Florida has come. My brother AJ, who participated in the service. Thank you for coming. Uncle Howard, my cousin Allison here visiting. My brother, obviously, Cliff, Denise, and her dad is visiting from out of town. My friend Nicole from college is here. She came up from Baltimore. My brother Will from Baltimore City College from high school is here, sitting right in front of my wife and my three lovely daughters, Jaira, Jayla, Jade. Please stand. Jaira, Jayla, Jade. Please stand. Those young ladies right there. Oh my gosh. My lovely wife, Tisha, who got them here. I'm sure getting them ready this morning was a task without my assistance. I'm so sorry, Mom. I had to come with Mom. So, Erica and her friend here from where? What's her name?
Linda.
Linda. How are you, Linda? How's it going? All right. Good to meet you. Thank you guys for coming. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Christmas. I was so honored that Joanne allowed me to come and share today. It's a privilege. I wouldn't be here anyway. But anything I can do to serve and to be a part of the service, I am honored. Y'all give Joanne a round of applause. All right, I got 15 minutes on the clock, and I'm going to try my best to be obedient, okay? All right, starting now. Christmas time, a lot of times, is about the gifts. Gifts. Yeah, spend the money. Use that credit card. Swipe it. Get in line. It starts on Black Friday, where you go out, and it's almost like playing football. You do a three-point stand, and you just bum rush the person in front of you so you can get ahead. You bum rush old people so you can get ahead of old people. Get a parking space. Muscle your way in. The day after being thankful for all that you have. Move these people out of the way so you can get some more. Amen. What is Christmas all about? It's all about God and Jesus and Jesus' birthday. Amen. The scriptures that you heard, Micah, Hebrews, and Luke. So I'm going to spend a couple of minutes on each of those scriptures, and we'll wrap it up in the end and send you on your merry way. There is a sweet potato pie downstairs. I'm just letting y'all know after the service, I'm going to give y'all about five minutes to get some, because if y'all don't get something, I'm going to eat the rest. Okay, Micah. When we see here Bethlehem, Ephratah, and that word, well, Bethlehem we know is the house of bread. It is the city of David, the place where Jesus was born. Ephratah is a connotation meaning fruitfulness. This city was not necessarily a grand city. Outside the fact that David was from Bethlehem, it was just a regular old city. It was a city that people would be like, well, nothing really good comes from that city. I mean, surely somebody has testified nothing good comes from fill in the blank. Wherever you're from, wherever I'm from, a lot of times God uses the weak things to confound the wise. Or he will make something very peculiar. This theory, this idea, it comes out of 1 Corinthians 1:27. For God has chosen the foolish things in the world to confound the wise, and He's chosen the weak things to confound things that are mighty. Great things have always started off very small. Take me, for example. I'm a big guy. I started off very, very small, running up and down these halls. Cliff and I getting in trouble, sitting right here, being alcoholics. Just let your imagination run wild. Whatever you can think of, that's what we did. We got in trouble. We got whippings and beatings and stuff like that. Hopefully, we got our lives straight now. Great things started very small. We're not necessarily an agrarian society in most parts of the United States, but in Bible times, A manger is kind of like what we would consider the garage. It's the place where we put extra stuff. Okay, in Florida we don't have basements, so we can't use basements. But we use garages. A garage is kind of like what we would understand a manger to be. We know Jesus was born in the manger. In the garage, what's in there? Junk, garbage, not necessarily the most important stuff, otherwise it would be in the main part of the house. But we put stuff there that's kind of extra. In a garage or a manger in life, don't be shocked if the greatest things come out of that place. Okay? In the United States, maybe if I said some of these words, Apple, Disney, Amazon, Google, you know what I'm talking about. They were all started in a garage. Nobody would contest that they aren't amazingly great now, but their origin was in a not so fancy place. What does that mean for you? Wherever you're at, if it's not a fancy place, don't be alarmed. Great things come out of that place. That's Micah. Hebrews. Thanks to Jesus, no more dirty sacrifices. For those of you that aren't familiar with Levitical law, before Jesus came, they had to take animals. They were bringing animals into the temple, not for pet blessings. They were bringing animals in to kill them in church. The animal's blood covered the sins of the people, believe it or not. Without the shedding of blood, there's no remission of sin. So God had this thing where, okay, Jesus is coming, but until he comes, bring these animals and they'll take on the sin. And it started from the very beginning, in the garden, where there was a sin that took place. God took an animal, butchered the animal. We don't hear about this animal, but this animal was the first sacrifice. Butchered the animal, took the skins, put them on Adam and Eve to cover them. Amen? So that we don't have to do that anymore. So when we bring our pets in, we're blessing them. We're not murdering them. So all the animal rights activists said, amen.
Amen.
God basically created a program so that we don't have to do sacrifices. Sacrifice is not really what God wanted. He wanted obedience. Think about this. If Adam never ate of that apple, well, it wasn't an apple, but the fruit. We call it an apple. But if Adam never ate of that fruit, Jesus wouldn't have to come. We celebrate the Lord, but obedience is greater than sacrifice. How many things have we sacrificed that if we had just been obedient the first time, we wouldn't have had to give up? All right, I'm just going to put a period right there and move on. All right, so let's see how we're doing on time. All right, I got 9 minutes. Are you ready? Okay, because I'm glad we talked about the 2 lessons because I wanted to get into the gospel. Luke, we've heard this story. Mary, blessed art thou among women. Hail Mary. Who said that first? Gabriel. Okay? Before Gabriel said it, nobody was running around talking about Hail Mary. She was just another girl. Okay? Gabriel comes and says something to her, and that marks the beginning of a long tradition of all humanity recognizing this woman. I want you to recognize, when we look at Mary, I want you to think about you. Because all of us are Mary. All of us have been given something to cultivate by God. God is going to, if he hasn't done it already, he's going to give you something special, something unique, something specific, an assignment, a gift, a calling, a purpose. God is going to give you, Kathy, God is going to give you something special.
That's mommy.
God is going to think of yourself as Mary. When God gives you something, respond like Mary. I don't understand it, but so be it unto me. That's how you receive a blessing from God. No, you're not going to understand it because God gives you a seed. You don't know what it's going to be because it's small when he gives it to you. When he gives it to you, although you don't understand it, receive it and say yes. Don't be like Zechariah, John the Baptist's father, the priest, the husband of Elizabeth, who when Gabriel came to him His response was, you know what? Not going to believe it until you prove it to me. I want evidence. Just the facts. I want hard evidence. It's not going to happen. I know you're Gabriel. You sit in the presence of God, and you're only mentioned a few times in the Bible, and you are the messenger from the most holy God. Zechariah's approach. Now, granted, whenever an angel appears to you, you're afraid because it's awesome. It's amazing. It's out of the ordinary. Don't be shocked if God shows up in your mundane routine. He can do that. He's God of the natural. He's also God of supernatural ability. Don't be shocked if God shows up. And if He shows up and says something to you, accept it. Don't meet it with all of your cynicism, all the pain and trouble that you've had. Greet it with expectancy, with hope, like Mary did. Amen? Gabriel comes to Zechariah and he says, you're going to have a son. His name is going to be John. He's going to be awesome. He's going to turn the heart. And he's basically telling him how his dream was coming true. Zechariah always wanted to have a son. He was a priest exercising in the priest's office. A joy is to have a son to fulfill that duty to. He never had it. God took forever to do it, so he's probably not going to show up. God shows up, and he had an attitude. Well, I know none of us have attitudes. But if we do have an attitude, remember, God is not slack concerning our promises. He's patient. He has a plan. He has a purpose. Wait on the Lord. He'll do His work in His time. When you receive a blessing of the Lord, receive it like Mary. God is going to give, remember, we're married. We are the person who is going to receive something great. What He's going to give to us is going to change the world. He's going to give you a solution that brings salvation to the world in some way. An idea, a business, a company, a ministry, a marriage. God is going to give you something unique, something special, something specific, something very important. Take heed to it. Now, in the process, while you're doing that, God is going to also supply you with a Joseph. Somebody who didn't originate the plan, but who's going to come alongside you and help you do it. Don't be one of these people where it's just me. I can do it all myself. No, you cannot. You need a support system. You need some help. Joseph is that help. So while you're receiving a blessing and cultivating it from God, let somebody come alongside of you and help you. While you're doing that, you help somebody cultivate their dream, cultivate their vision. A lot of times we're not getting our visions because we won't help anybody else with theirs. You can't be a leader without being a servant. Amen?
Amen.
You can't be a leader without also being a follower. Amen?
Amen.
All right, let's see how we're doing on time here. All right, I got about like 3 minutes left. This is good though. This is real good stuff. Okay, how do you receive an assignment from God? Don't do it like Zechariah. Don't do it the Zechariah way. For those of you that don't know the story, Zechariah didn't believe Gabriel, and Gabriel had to curse him with dumbness until John the Baptist was born. You're not going to receive, God will still do the work. He'll still fulfill His promise, but you won't get the full benefit of it. And when you don't get the full benefit, we miss out. God doesn't always tell you all that you missed out on, but receive it with gladness, with expectancy. Amen?
Amen.
Okay. Don't be shocked if what God gives you is rejected and despised by everyone. Okay? So this is what happens with Mary. Now, listen, but before Jesus came and died and resurrected, Mary was a pregnant teenager who looked like she made a mistake. Okay? Think about that. You know how we are. Somebody looks like they made a bad mistake and they're in a bad situation. Look at that. Mary was judged of people. She was misinterpreted. She was misunderstood. She looked like God was not blessing her. She looked like she made a mistake. But everybody was wrong. She hadn't made a mistake. A lot of times we try to judge people based upon their intentions, and we don't know their intentions. That's why we can't judge each other. We don't know what this person has been through. We don't know what we're struggling with right now. Don't judge each other, support each other. Don't be shocked if what God gives you is misunderstood and misinterpreted by humanity. Joseph himself, and here's how we know that the virgin birth was true. Joseph was ready to get rid of her. Quietly. Now he was a decent guy, but he wasn't a dummy. He was like, he's about to get married to somebody, and she was with child. Now I'm not going to explain that. There are children in the room. But that just doesn't happen. That just doesn't happen. You don't just walk down the street, oh, guess what happened to me? Oh, I'm pregnant. Okay. There's seed time and harvest. You plant a seed, it grows. That's how things work in the world. But God had to come to Joseph and say, hey, she's telling the truth. What she has is of the Lord. Stay with her. And Joseph's like, okay, he was obedient. This one's going to hurt. Don't be shocked if what God gives you is betrayed and murdered by humanity. Because let's be real. We're celebrating the birth of Jesus, but in a few months we're going to be celebrating Easter. Resurrection. Why do we celebrate that? Because he was crucified. What God gives you, the vision, it might die. It might die. It's not the end of the story. It's not the end yet. It's not over. It will also resurrect. It will resurrect, and then it will bless all humanity, all society. I'm telling you, we're celebrating God, and we're celebrating Jesus, and He has come. Christmas, Christ, Mass. God has come. We're celebrating that. There's Christmas in each of you. There's greatness in each of you. There's something that God is giving you. You cultivate it and bless the world when you bring it into fruition. Amen?
Amen.
Merry Christmas. That's my time.